Switch of South Africa in proud association with Change Cars. Change Cars is a trusted online website because they work with trusted dealers and the best insurer in South Africa, Discovery Insure. Welcome back to Switch of South Africa. I'm Nicky Nash as always, and today you guys join me inside the Mercedes-Benz EQB. So before I tell you everything you need to know about this vehicle, I need to tell you about my secondary channel, and that's called Traveling with Nicky Nash. So I travel from time to time, so I'll be showing you where I go, the places I go with brands and all of that. And please do subscribe to that channel. A lot of content, behind the scenes content, will be coming to that channel. But yeah, it's now time to speak about the car we're in today, and it's the Mercedes-Benz EQB. So the Mercedes-Benz EQB is the bigger brother or the bigger sister to the Mercedes-Benz EQA that we had on test last week. So when I had the EQA in test, obviously this one I knew was coming. So now here I'm answering the questions of, is it worth the extra 200,000 Rand, or should you settle for an EQA? And I'm going to tell you every single thing you need to know about this car, from the exterior design of the vehicle, the interior design of the vehicle, and I'm going to speak more about the drive of the vehicle, because there's certain things I didn't touch on about in the EQA review in terms of the drive of electric cars, and I'm going to speak about it over here. So starting out with the exterior of the vehicle, that beeping was sensing a person walking on the side of the road. So when it comes to the exterior look of the vehicle, I like how it looks on the outside, man. I'm a really big fan of it. And this is not the AMG Line, by the way. This is the Progressive. The AMG Line has multi-spoke wheels, different bumper design. It looks much better than the one I'm currently in, but this does look the part as well. I do like the whole light bar in front design, the rear design of the vehicle. I'm really a fan of this EQB. So the interior, when you jump into the interior of the vehicle, it literally screams GLB. It screams GLB. So an EQB is an electric GLB. Literally, that's what it is. So the interior doesn't say electric, doesn't scream electric, and that's what I like about the interior of this vehicle. It's understated. I had a passenger maybe like 20 minutes ago, my neighbor, and he didn't know that's an electric car until I told him it's an electric car. So it says a lot about that. So I do like the interior. It's very spacious as well. Known for EQB, you have a lot of leg room, you have a lot of headroom. So if you want space and you have the money, the EQB is the one to go for over the EQA, but I'm gonna speak about that later on in the review. So now jumping onto the drive vehicle, there's certain parts I need to speak about the drive vehicle that I didn't speak about in the EQA. So starting off with what I'm currently doing, I am doing something called one pedal driving. One pedal driving is basically just using the accelerator to drive the vehicle. And how does that work? So you have pedal shifters behind the steering wheel. So those pedal shifters, they program for you to be able to adjust how hectic you want the regen braking. Regen braking meaning the car brakes for you, and when it's braking for you, it's regenerating electricity back into the battery, so the car won't use up a lot of battery compared to you not using regen braking. So you can put it on D minus or D or D plus. D plus meaning that the car won't brake hectically for you. When you put it on D, it'll be minimal braking. When you put it on D minus, the car will try utmost best to use the most out of the regen braking. By that meaning that it will brake as hard as possible for you, and that's when you get to use the one pedal driving like I'm doing. So I'm hardly ever on the brakes in this vehicle because I like putting the car on D minus, using the regen braking, and this type of movement is called one pedal driving because you literally just on the accelerator. When you approach a stop sign or anything like that, you let off, the car brakes for you. It won't come to a complete stop, but it will do. I'm testing it now actually. I'm going over a hump and slowing down. It'll come down to speeds of like 5 kilometers, and then you just tap on the brake just to stop the car. But in normal day-to-day traffic or anything like that, you'll never need to use the brake, and literally that's how I have been doing it. And another thing with electric cars, you get the instant boost immediately. When I say immediately, when you put your foot down, and I'm in eco, by the way. I'm in eco, and actually want to speak more about the power and actually do like a launch control for you in the electric car. So I'm gonna put this EQB in sports, right? And I'm gonna put my foot down, and you hear the car go. There we go. I let off. So yeah, okay, enough of that. So the EQB power figure is looking at 215 kilowatts and 520 newton meters of torque, and that is a lot. Jumping out of an EQA that had 140 kilowatts into 215 kilowatts, you do feel that there's a lot. So this car has a battery pack in front and a battery pack at the back. What does that mean? That means this car is 4-wheel drive 4MATIC. So that means all the power in this vehicle is sent to all 4 wheels, and rightfully so. 215 kilowatts and 520 newton meters of torque is a lot of power, and it can't just be generated to the front wheels. Otherwise, you're just going to be spinning up the wheels. So already in an EQA, this front wheel drive, you do tend to spin up the wheels. So I like the car that this car is essentially 4-wheel drive, and I like that a lot. And being 4-wheel drive, all you hear, because the car's so quiet, is tires. Like, I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but from my position, when you put your foot down, all you are hearing is tires. So I spoke a bit about the drive. Something I didn't touch on about was where do you charge the vehicle and how is the charging procedure in all electric cars. So as a buyer like you, when you buy an electric car, for example, I'm buying an EQB, Mercedes-Benz is going to ask you, where would you like your charging station to be installed? They're going to tell you, you're going to say, oh, I'd like it to be installed at home. Then they'll come and install a charging box for you at home so that you can charge at home, right? And then when you're not at home, you can charge at malls, you can charge anywhere else where there's charging stations, but it is not for free. The whole charging at malls, obviously charging at home is not for free because you're going to be using your own electricity. Charging at malls is not free. And where is let me just show you, let me just get the keys out quickly, give me a second. It's not for free, and you will need a card like this. You will need a card like this, and this card is essentially what like you load your money onto, and then when you go to a charging station, you tap it on the charging station and your car will charge. It's not for free. You do pay, and you do not pay with a bank card. You need to have a certain electric card, essentially, whether it's a good card or it's a card you receive from Mercedes-Benz or from whatever brand you'll be getting you'll be buying your electric vehicle from. So it is not free. Even at charging at malls, you need to pay for it. And yeah, you need to work around all of that. So it's a question that I got asked previously and I didn't answer. So I've told you about essentially the drive of the vehicle and how it feels. Personally, the EQB is my personal favorite over the EQA, and I'm going to speak more about that. But before I speak about that, let's go to 3 things I like and 3 things I don't like about this car. So this side, you know how we do it. We start with the bad, and the 3 things I don't like about this vehicle. 1, I am paying, so price. This car is 1.4 to 1.5 million rand. I'll speak more about that later. But I am paying 1.4 million rand, not 1,000, 1.4 million rand, and I still get manually adjusted seats. I don't get that. I don't like that. The second thing I don't like about this car is the auto hold. I spoke about it in the EQA. The auto hold doesn't always engage. It engages, yes it does, but not all the time. Sometimes you really need to press that brake pedal, and I honestly don't like that. The third thing I don't like about this vehicle is how sensitive its surround PDC is, so parking distance controls. So when like I showed you in the beginning of the video, when a passenger was walking, a car sensed that it made a noise. If a car tends to pass too close to me, it will sense that it will make a noise. If a person passes too close to me, it will sense that it will make a noise. So I do not like that about the car, and this is the third thing I like. There's the third thing I don't like about the car. On to the 3 things I like about the vehicle. Let's get it. Number 1, it has to be the overall look of the vehicle. I like the look of the car. Number 1 is the look of the vehicle, definitely. I like how the car looks. It looks very beautiful from the outside. It's more especially in the AMG line. You should be seeing pictures now of the vehicle. I like that. I like that whole design in front. The second thing I like about the car is the interior and being inside of an electric car, this specific one. It feels good where I am. I like that a lot. And the third thing I like, I think it has to be my favorite thing. It has to be the it has to be the power that this EQB has. So 215 kilowatts and 520 newton meters of torque is a lot, and that's the third thing I like about this car. So now moving on to cost of ownership. So this vehicle, it starts at 1.3 million rand off the website of Mercedes-Benz. And then once you start configuring, or once you start looking at the vehicles available, for the vehicle that I'm in, the progressive model, it's 1.4. And then if you offer an AMG line, it's 1.5 million rand. And that's essentially 200,000 rand more than the EQA. Cost of ownership, if you finance this vehicle over 60 months, which is 5 years, at an interest rate of 12%, you're looking at paying, without deposit, you're looking at paying 33,000 rand per month. That is a lot of money. Yeah, that's how much you're looking at paying. And then if you factor in your whole fuel, battery usage, you essentially be paying around 34 to 35,000 rand without insurance. Including insurance, it goes above that. So that's the whole cost of ownership in this vehicle. So now, Having said that, this car is 200,000 rand more than the EQA. It begs the question, is this car worth the 200,000 rand more? And in the EQA review, as I mentioned, I'm going to speak about, is it wise to buy the EQA or just add up and get the EQB? And honestly, the latter. Add up and get EQB. I get the EQA. It's a good entry vehicle into the electric range, into Mercedes-Benz, but honestly, if you're looking for the space, the power, the comfort, the EQB is the one to go for. The only upside that the EQA has on the EQB is the range. So the EQB full range capacity is claimed at 395 to 429. You will not get that. Well, no, I wouldn't say you wouldn't get that, but I didn't get that. So what I've been able to achieve on a full charge this vehicle, it gave me 381, and that's a good 30 k's less than the EQA. So the EQA will definitely give you more range because it's lighter, and I do believe because it's lighter, it will give you more range than the EQB, but the range is not significant enough for me to say I'm not going to buy the EQA, or rather buy the EQB. So my recommendation is definitely get the EQB. If you have the money to spend, it, get the EQB. If you have the money for an EQA, save up or just add on and get the EQB. So that's my personal preference of this vehicle. I've told you every single thing you need to know about this car. This is definitely not my last electric car from Mercedes. There's still something from Mercedes, just not now, obviously, over the next couple of months. But I'll speak more about that when the vehicle comes. I can't speak about every single thing electric cars because I'm gonna cover the content in other electric vehicles. But I hope you guys did like the content. And from Nicky Nash, I am signing out. So let me just do a quick U-turn. Oh, and the turning circle of this vehicle is amazing. So yeah, I'm Nicky Nash from South Africa, and I have to sign out.